Hey everyone, today we are reading some Reddit stories. This time they are sneaky people here, and we are here to decide whether they are actually sneaky, a-holes, or good people. Let's get rolling. So the first story is 18 hours old, very fresh, very young. Am I the a-hole? Of course, let's read. Am I the a-hole for refusing to move after my new roommate told me she's allergic to dogs? Okay. I, 21 female, live in an on-campus apartment with 3 roommates. I'm legally blind and have a guide dog. Housing has known about my guide dog for years, and this will be my 3rd year living in these apartments with her. Earlier this summer, Housing moved me from one apartment building to another because my old building was being renovated. I didn't ask to move, and I was actually out of state at guide dog training when it happened, so my friend had to pack and move everything I owned. I've now been living in the new apartment for about 2 months. Everything is unpacked, including my mini fridge, my guide's dog crate, and all of her supplies. I've also already learned the new route to campus from this building. One of my roommates moved in a few days ago. I had planned to go back and clean before she arrived, but I got a high fever and couldn't make it back. I emailed her, apologized, explained I was sick, and asked her to leave my belongings where they were until I could return. She replied saying she's severely allergic to dogs. I completely understand that allergies are serious and I don't blame her for bringing it up. She suggested that I switch apartments with one of her friends in another building. The problem is, I'd already been moved once this summer. Everything was unpacked and I have a lot to move, including a mini fridge, my guide's dog crate, and all of her supplies. Since I am visually impaired, I'd also have to learn a completely new route to campus again. I also don't have the people, sorry, I can't see, I will remove that. I also don't have the people available to help me move a second time. I told her I honestly didn't think Housing would move me again since they'd already relocated me once and that I'd ask. She then emailed Housing saying that she, her friend, and I all voluntarily agreed to switch room assignments. The problem is that I never agreed to move. I only said I didn't think Housing would approve another move for me. I contacted both my area coordinator and Housing to explain that I had not agreed to move and wasn't comfortable moving again after already being relocated this summer. Housing later told me that I did not have to move and that because my guide dog accommodation was already on file, it would be up to my roommate to request a room reassignment if she wanted one. I'm currently waiting for Housing to let me know when everything is resolved before I return to my apartment. I feel bad because I know severe allergies are a legitimate issue and I don't think my roommate is wrong for needing accommodations. At the same time, I don't think it's fair that I was expected to move a second time after already being relocated, unpacking everything and getting settled. So, am I the a-hole for refusing to move? I was told to add this to post from one of the comments and it might make things a little bit clearer. Just so you guys know, we do have a question on our housing application that allows better matches, and it asks if you would be willing and or comfortable to live with a surface animal. It is Housing's jobs to read those applications so something like this doesn't happen. Indeed, the housing question is an a-hole. Why are they not taking it into account? It's a serious issue. It's something that needs to be taken into account because people who are living together, it is always such a touchy topic, not only on the matters of how you're living together, but who you're living together. It's such a big problem of matching people and being compatible in your everyday lives. And they already make you do it when you move to a dormitory, to housing apartment, whatever. And when they do not include this big of a remark that you are having a dog and you need to have this dog, it's not like it's just a doggy dog for fun. And even if you had a doggy dog for fun, it is still your dog. And again, the relocation, another location, it would be, hassle, I totally get it. So yeah, Housing, you're an a-hole for me.
Y'all are going to jail, period!
And one more big grand thing, OP is visually impaired. It's difficult, it is actually a complex thing for her to move out and to learn these new routes, and to go and experience life in a very different perspective. It's not that easy when you are not blind, when you are not visually impaired, when you have no disabilities. And when you have them, it's even more complicated and it takes longer time. It takes much more effort. So totally not the a-hole. Of course, it should have been resolved not by you girls or I forgot who's the roommate. The girl is a female. I don't know who the roommate is. Okay. So I feel like it's not OP's and roommates problem to resolve in terms of like housing should take care of it, right? And now girls need to feel these unpleasant emotions by going through these motions of figuring things out. That's why, yeah, I feel like you're not the a-hole. The girl is not the a-hole too. I can understand her from some angles, but of course for her to move out it would be much more easier. That's why I think she should do it, and I understand that it's uncomfortable and she doesn't want to do it for sure. I'm not sure again if the roommate is a girl or a boy, but still, it is uncomfortable for them. But they need to do it. They need to do it to be a decent person. And the most popular comment is, not the a-hole. She lied, saying that you agreed to move, and that immediately makes her an a-hole. You did not agree to any such thing. Allergies suck, but you guys simply aren't going to be compatible roommates. T, your dog is necessary medical equipment. T, I'm not sure whether she lied because I feel like the phrasing, one sec, what did she say? I told her I honestly didn't think housing would move me again since they'd already relocated me once, but that I'd ask. It's interesting because from my perspective, I feel like she's not reluctant to move if she says it because she'd ask. It means that she's inclined to ask and is inclined to make amends or just to deal with the situation. So I can understand where she's coming from. I don't think she lied, but I think she just saw a situation from a different angle. She just saw it as OP agreeing to moving out. So I'm not sure the person in question, the roommate, is lying, but maybe it's just me. Maybe she's lying. I'm not sure. I feel like Reddit commenters sometimes can be too harsh on people. But I feel like we have broken down this discussion in detail. That's why we can move on to story 2. My mom lied to me my entire life about dad, and I can't even look or talk to her anymore. My entire life, I was just with mom. Dad was never in my life. My entire life, I was told by mom and her whole family that dad was a deadbeat piece of shit who ran away after mom got pregnant with me. My entire life, she and her family would talk shit about him the entire time. They made him seem like the absolute worst person ever, and I believed them because he was never in my life. But a few months ago, I got really curious. I've been curious about that for a few years now, but honestly, after I saw a TikTok about someone in my same situation, I got really curious and got his identity from mom, and it was really easy finding him on Facebook. He looked like an older version of me. It was so weird. He's a lawyer and he's married with 4 kids who are all younger than me. It took me a few days, but I messaged him a long message. I introduced myself and told him who my mom is and that I was his son. Half an hour later, he responded and he was actually so excited. He asked to FaceTime me and I accepted. He started crying when he saw me and he was so red-faced. I asked if he knew about me and he said she told him she miscarried me. They were together when they got pregnant with me and they had so many issues together, but he wanted to stay because of me. He said she was so toxic and her family too. He kept crying and apologizing for not being in my life. And he kept repeating that he thought I didn't make it. He even said how much I look like him at my age, and he asked me to meet me in person. And when I did, he hugged me so tight I almost choked. He's now obsessed with me, and honestly, I am with him. He introduced me to his family and friends, and he likes introducing me as his boy. He even paid off all my student loans without me asking him to. He just asked if I had any, and he paid them all off. He said he's saving for all his kids, so it's only fair he did for me too. I love him so freaking much already, and I hate that I missed out on him my entire life. He even took me last minute on his family holiday vacation back on Christmas. He talks to me every day now, even though he's a lawyer and he's busy as freak, as he keeps making time for me every day. And now, ever since I met him, I've been avoiding my mom. I honestly hate her of depriving me of him my entire life and lying about him my entire life. We've honestly have had many issues recently, and this was just the last straw for me. She keeps calling and trying to talk to me, but I don't answer her. I don't want to talk to her anymore. She robbed me of an entire lifetime of my dad. Oh, that is insane. This is bogus. What can I say? First of all, I'm not defending the mom. because of course it is very hard. People's communications, people's relationships, their trauma, their bonding, whatever, everything related to human beings and our emotions and our decisions and everything happening in our lives and our lives being intertwined with other people, everything is complicated and complex and never easy and never, here's the problem, you're the problem, we're the problem. Like, we shouldn't label people straight away, for sure. That's why sometimes I'm playing devil advocate, and I will do the same here. I feel like the mom in question, probably did have some reasoning for that. At least she should have, because I cannot imagine her lying to her ex-partner about such a big thing. It's always bad. It is always extremely bad, even if you hate the person, even if they are the last person you would ever talk to now. I still feel like it's an essential part of your life and of their life, and something that should be said no matter what, and navigate it somehow, into cordial territory. That's why, of course, I feel like the mom here is an a-hole for doing that, for depriving the son in question of his dad his entire life. Not his entire life, he's not too old, right? How old is he? Not mentioned. Okay. I feel like they are in their teenagers era, or maybe in their adolescence, adulthood life. I don't know. But still, you, OP, have some time, a lot of time, hopefully, with your family, with your dad. So you shouldn't just cut off mom straight away. Just talk to her, communicate through everything. And of course, you have your dad now, so it's a win-win. Now you shouldn't focus on the past. You should try and make amends and live in the present more. That's how I feel. You always should look at things through a perspective, through a lens of positivity and of dealing with things now and then. Now and then? No. Now, at this specific moment, because if we stockpile things, if we overthink about the future, about the past, whatever, it will just blow our brain, blow our minds. We don't need that. It is a pretty popular post as it aired 6 months ago, and it has a lot of upvotes, a lot of comments, but I feel like there were some comments deleted, I guess. Mods did us dirty with this post. But let's see what comments we have here. I need you to sit with your mom and tell her point blank, and then ask her, why did you tell my dad that you miscarried me? Why, mom? If she starts lying or won't say, you can walk out of her life without look back if you want to. Yeah, I feel like, of course, if you want to, you can. Though, it's a tough question talking about parents. I have never had shitty parents, we had some ups and downs with my family too, but my advice to people would never be to just cross people out of your life. Just delete them, remove them, because you always need to kind of, I don't even know what's the best word for it. You need to have faith in people. I feel like you need to have faith in people, yeah, and need to be more understanding, because life is actually never black or white. And of course, there are some moments which are black or white. However, it's for you to decide whether it would be a black or white situation. She and her whole family lied to him and to you. That's so messed up. She did rob you and your dad, and you have every right to feel as you do. Yeah, you have every right to be angry and furious, and you are entitled to every emotion and feeling out there, for sure. So my first big recommendation, and my only one I feel like, is communicate. Always. As simple as it is, right? Because of course, only when you talk things through, you can navigate your relationship, see where to go from there, see if you can open your heart up enough to actually forgive a person, especially your mom. If you had your ups and downs, if you had some debacles with her, that's totally all right. We all have it. It's all right. But still, I don't feel like you should cut off people easily, only if the things are actually stockpiling and like suck attention, suck energy out of you. Life is difficult and people are difficult. It's never that easy to just say, oh, you're bad, or oh, you're wrong. We can make mistakes and we can do something bad. We all can. So that's okay. We need to talk things through. And mom, yeah, lying is horrible. Lying is horrible. She should have some reason for that. I can't believe she just lied about it for no reason at all. That just doesn't sit right with me. Okay, I'm getting pissed off. Let's go to story 3. The third story is viral and I feel like would be crazy. I have not yet read it. Let's read it. My husband lied about getting laid off. Sounds okay. Sounds sticky, right? Right? The story is from True Off My Chest. Let's read the story. It has a lot of updates, I see. That's good. I need to drink. I need to drink my water. Refreshing. I found out a week ago, but I've only just calmed down enough to be able to talk about it. I'm not ready to share my dirty laundry in public yet, but I need to tell someone about it. In May, my husband lost a job. He said his entire division had been laid off because their jobs were outsourced. Then last week, I happened to run into my husband's former colleague and his wife while I was out at the shops. From my conversation with his former colleague, it came to light that my husband quit because the company mandated all employees to come into the office 2 or 3 days a week, and my husband wanted to stay remote. I was so humiliated because I expressed sympathy to his former colleague about the layoffs only to find out there wasn't any. When I confronted my husband, he admitted it. He said he didn't think it would be a problem since I was already making more than him. I've been working as much overtime as I can get at the hospital to keep our heads above water. I'm getting pissed off already. Come to find out, my husband voluntarily left his job and has only been applying for fully remote jobs instead of looking for any job he could get. He admitted all of it. If his decision just affected him, it would be one thing. We had a 6-year-old. I've been feeling guilt for months about being away from her so much because I've been working as many shifts in the A&E as I can get. My husband says he's sorry, but sometimes has broken between us. Oh, sometimes. But something has broken between us and our marriage cannot be fixed. I spent months bottling my feelings about him not working and doing less chores because I thought he was depressed about losing his job. He kept saying how guilty he felt about not working and I didn't want to add to it. I kept thinking as soon as he found another job, everything would be fine. Meanwhile, he's been having a holiday sitting at home while I ran myself ragged, keeping us above water. I'm moving out of our flat as soon as I can find another place for myself and my daughter. I don't care what my husband has to say. Every time he apologizes, it just makes me angry. I don't want to tell anyone until I find somewhere else to live, but I needed to get this out before my anger consumes me and I lose it in front of my daughter. I didn't even know it was possible to be this angry. Oh, I would be angry, girl. I would be angry. I would be furious and fuming in fire coming out of my mouth and my nostrils and my ass, for sure. Let me tell you that. Not only did he quit a pretty stable job, not fully remote, yes, but stable. We do not see any back and forth about his job. I mean, back and forth in terms of like problems. We don't see anything bad happening to his work. I mean, I don't know, no bonuses or promotions or cut payments or whatever. Yeah, it feels pretty stable. He quits. Not only does he quit, but he lies to his wife, who has a daughter. And she's working non-stop as a nurse or doctor or whoever, trying to keep your heads above water or whatever. She said, a beautiful idiom, loved it. And the husband is like, I'm so depressed, I can't even do my chores. I'm so depressed. I'm looking forward to getting some fully remote job and I'm not going to do anything else. What? Excuse me. I'm pissed because while you are looking for a job, you can go and do something part-time. You can agree to at least something. And again, while you are working one job, you can still be looking for another one. If you dislike the previous one, you still can do something about it. And when, of course, understand people have feelings, people have depressions, whatever, totally valid. But you have a family. You have a family that you need to feed, to help out, to be a breadwinner for, if you want to be a breadwinner. If you don't want to be a breadwinner, just say it out loud. I feel like your wife is seeing some signs already, so she just needs some facts to say, okay, I don't like this, bye. So, I'm just angry, I'm pissed off. Let's see the update, because I'm getting livid. I'm getting livid. I first posted just over 6 months ago. My update is not terribly long or exciting, but there have been changes. I moved out of our flat. Living separately and having some breathing space from my husband has helped me with my anger towards him in the day to day. I'm obviously still hurt and angry. Originally, my husband said he would not contest. What? My husband said he would not contest our divorce. Last week he changed his mind and he's contesting now. We both had solicitors and we're working towards an agreement regarding our finances and our 6-year-old daughter. Now my husband has decided to contest the divorce. My ass is on fire, but I'm okay. My solicitor says it will not stop me from being able to get a divorce. Another piece of good news is that although my husband still doesn't have a job, after half a year, I'm pissed. My solicitor says I will most likely not have to pay him any spousal maintenance. Even though I was always the high earner in our marriage, the difference in our salaries was not enough to warrant it. And now that he had chosen not to work, he cannot claim he needs my support. I may still have to pay him child maintenance depending on how much time he has with our daughter. It still feels like I'm barely keeping my head above water because I cannot withdraw financial support yet. I can once the finances have been settled, and my solicitor says the court will not look kindly on my husband if he tries to delay that. My main focus is my daughter and making sure this affects her as little as possible. That is my update. Girl, I see you because I feel like I cannot just say that straight away because it will be a hot take, an unpopular opinion, everyone will hate me, but I feel like in many cases men are way more emotional than women, even not more emotional, but they pay more tribute to their emotions, or whatever the saying goes, right? They feel like what they feel is much more heavier, much more important than what a woman is feeling. And I totally understand that like losing your job, quitting your job is always hard. There is a woman in this equation who is working her hump off, trying to feed her daughter. She's first few months, or how long was it? I don't remember. She was trying to support the dad, her husband, even after she found out that he lied, and this all irks me so much that he lied about such an important decision in his life that he did. Feels like on a whim, you know? I'm quitting my job just to find a remote job. Nothing else, just for the sake of doing something better, having a better job. And I would understand it if you two had a great emergency fund, if you two had no babies, or if you just didn't lie and your wife agreed to that, you know? I would have been so much better on you, you know? Not that strict on you, men, the men in this story. But no, I'm not. I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm standing on business. Let's see the comments. The first comment was, don't question yourself. It is intentional. He's an adult and he knows what he's doing. Give him a timeline. If he doesn't have a job in 30 days, tell him you want a divorce because he's not being a partner. He's leeching off on you and he doesn't have any shame about it. Get serious with him and put your foot down. You deserve better, and if he can't be better for you and your child, then give him the same back. No more free rides. Love yourself first and don't drag yourself through hell just so he doesn't have to help out. Period. I love the phrase leech off of you here just because he actually does. He actually does. How come you are in such a bad situation, both financial wise and life wise, and you are not even that much looking for a job? After half a year, he still doesn't have a job. So she made a right decision. She made the right decision, the rightest decisions of all, I feel like. Let's see if we have any other updates. Finally, a post from a woman who said fuck no when realizing her partner was dead weight. Period. Love it. Women should stand their ground. There is one more comment. Look, I was pissed I had to go back into the office, but really quitting your job, dude needs to grow up. Indeed, in freaking deed. You are a man, a grown-ass man who just says, oh no, I don't want to work just because I don't have a remote job, fully remote job. You know, it's not that easy to find remote jobs. And even if it's easy, it doesn't mean that it will be well paid. It doesn't mean that it will be a good company to provide for you, right? There are so many things into that equation. It's generally just hard, especially now in this economy. Even 1 year later, even like half a year again later, it's even harder to find a job. So I feel like this man still has no job. So good luck to him finding it in this economy. This was it. We have finally came to the rest. Oh, to the rest. To the end. We have finally come to the end. We discussed all the stories needed. They all were sticky. They all were irking me a little bit, but we kind of understand that nothing's black and white, but only when it comes to men who don't have common sense, then it's not black and white. It's very black. So thank you, girls and boys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, you know what to do. You know where to find me next time on this YouTube channel. See you soon in the next video.